Hey guys, welcome back. So on the last video, last Sunday, I asked if anybody knew what was in the box. Nobody guessed it right, but that's okay. I'm gonna let you guys know what it is. Let's do this thing. Alright, let's get this thing opened up here. Alright, before I get into this box, I want to show you something real quick. Look at that, can you see that? Dan, one of my buddies, one of his company, the company he works for was liquidating a lot of their stuff, so we bought some of this scaffolding super duper cheap. So a big thanks to Dan, because this is going to come in handy for putting that siding up. Alright, well, let's get one of these things out here. So before we get started, I want to show you a little clip, and this is what can happen in semi-rough water. I mean, it wasn't even really rough, but there were some swells going on. But this is going to lead up to why we're talking about this today. You guys see how fast that happened? Man, that sucks. I mean, it sucks for everybody. You can see that one guy just screaming, "Life jacket, life jacket, life jacket!" But yeah, if you notice closely, the driver of the boat, when he goes back there to work on it, he's got a life jacket on. I don't know why the other guys. I mean, when you've seen water coming in your boat, that's a telltale sign you need to put a life jacket on ASAP. So what do they say? Anything can and will go wrong, so prep for the worst and pray for the best. So here's a little clip of us going into town, and that's what's leading us to this. In the wintertime, the water is typically always rougher than it is in the summertime. So in the wintertime, a good day in the winter would be a bad day in the summer. So the winds are always a lot windier, the swells are always bigger. So we try not to go in anything more than 6 foot and anything over 20 knots. But on this day, the water was about 4 foot, and it was blowing 20 knots with a little bit of gusts. And luckily for us, one of our neighbors also was headed into town at the same time, so we just got in his wake, and he broke up a lot of the stuff for us. So it would have been a lot worse if we were just on our own. So we just got behind his wake. Anyways, I'll roll the footage and you can see what a going back in the wintertime looks like. Now that footage was a little rough because hey, no. Excuse me, my dog's whining. That footage is a little rough. I know the camera kept coming off the mountain. Every time we'd hit a bump, the camera would bloop, flip up towards the sky. In the wintertime, the water that we cross, typically, winter and summer, it ranges between 69 degrees and 42 degrees. And that plays a big factor in how long you can stay in that water before you reach hypothermia. So the clothes that I'm wearing right now, in 40-degree weather, I can typically, on average, stay in that water for 45 minutes before I hit hypothermia. Well, alright, let's get this sucker on, see what it looks like. There you go. Alright, so this is what they call a Mustang suit. we'll go into some of the stuff. I'll take this off so we can go and point some of the stuffs out for you. But these things run about 500 bucks. They have what they call a survival suit, then they have a Mustang suit, and then they just have regular PFDs or personal flotation devices. And Mustang's just a brand name, but when people say Mustang suit, this is what they mean. Just with my clothes on, I have a CLO of 0.100. When I'm wearing this anti-exposure unit, my CLO goes from that to a 0.420. Now don't get funny with the 420 out there, but that's what keeps you from becoming hypothermic, is the CLO volume. When you put this anti-exposure suit on, you go from 45 minutes to over 4 hours you can stay in the water before you become hypothermic. So with all this CLO jibber jabber, what does all that mean? Well, simply put is, I would much rather in the wintertime fall overboard or the boat start to go down and have an extra 4 hours chance to get to a shoreline than just to wear nothing, because you look kind of goofy wearing those things. But to be realistic, I know there's 2 other guys that run the waters all winter long too, and I always see them wearing Mustang suits as well. So if you're smart and you don't care about how cool you look, this right here is what you're going to wear. So let's break it down and see what all this thing has. Hey, stop right there. Listen, I want to try an experiment with you guys, okay? Listen, look, watch me real quick. Right there, right over there, there's 2 gray thumbs, one like this, one like this. Hit one of them, preferably this one, and let's see if it turns blue. I heard they do. So let's start here at the ankles. So on the ankles here, you've got these cinch straps, 2 cinch straps on each ankles, and then you've got 2 cinch straps on your thighs as well. And then the wrist cuffs have they're neoprene right here on the cuffs, and then they've got a Velcro so you can cinch that down real tight as well. What these cinch straps do is they prevent what they call like a flushing, like a flash flood. So basically it prevents, when you get submerged in water, it prevents the water from just going straight up into the suit. It, you know, it's, if you cinch it tight, not cutting off the circulation, it keeps it, like, just gradually lets the water in, and that helps prevent part of the hypothermia setting in. All right, the other thing this thing has is it's got zippers on the side. That allows you to put this on while you still have your shoes on. It's a lot easier putting it on without your boots or shoes, but if you need to, without taking your shoes off, you can get them on. Alright, so this thing is United States Coast Guard buoyant device, and it's approved as a flotation device. It also offers hypothermia and flotation protection. So like I said, those cinch straps on the ankles and the thighs, what they do is they minimize water flushing to delay hypothermia. Alright, and the best part is it's got a hood, and this hood acts as a flotation device, like a pillow. So that pillow will aid you if you're struggling for your life. You want to be comfortable, obviously. So there you go, you got a pillow so you can rest your little head while you're struggling to save your own life. So the other added bonus of this thing is whether or not you're in the water or not, it is warm. So if it's cold, and it is in the wintertime here, just wearing this thing keeps you plenty warm. So that's an added bonus. I mean, seriously, I could wear, well, basically I'll just wear like some long johns and a t-shirt underneath this thing when we're traveling back and forth, and I'm plenty warm. If I'm not wearing this thing, then I have long johns, some pants, a hoodie, and then a wool jacket over the top of me. So this thing is definitely warm. Now at the mine that I worked at, we'd have to go out on the water in October and November sometimes, before the lake froze over, and we'd have to do some dredging. And even though it was pouring down rain, we would put these Mustang suits on, and they're not waterproof, but you can be completely soaked. And I just wear a t-shirt. I mean, yeah, a t-shirt. It's like a moisture wicking t-shirt and some nylon shorts. And you'd be completely soaked, but this thing is so insulated, and it's just the foam protecting. It's not like it's got like fleece or anything in there, but it's just so warm on the inside. You know, we could be at 38 degrees and wet, and this thing still kept us warm. So this thing definitely works. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. I've never been overboard on a boat, but I have worked in these things, and they are warm. Well, all right, so I know a couple of guys have commented about how they're planning to move up here in some point in time, and so my advice to you is, if you're going to be going back and forth to get supplies and stuff in town, this is what you want to get. I know they're $500, a little under like $450 or whatever, but you know, what's $500 compared to your life? And if you also see Gunner in all of our videos, pretty much, we let's tell a little story. All right, so 2 years ago, it was winter time and the water was semi-calm, and we had two guys, not on our island, but on a different island a little further north of us. These two guys set out on kayaks with their dog to go to their cabin on this other island. Anyways, it's winter time, so the wind picked up all of a sudden. I don't know what exactly happened, but you know, that night you could hear a lot of boats and Coast Guard helicopters flying around. So basically what had happened was the winds got rough, the seas got rough, and these two guys, they basically perished. I mean, the one body washed up on our island, another body washed up on Admiralty Island, and I mean, it's tragic, but it's stuff like this that can really save your life. So what I was saying with Gunner was, they had a dog. The dog was never found. So my thought process is, if I always put a life vest on Gunner, we've always got a 30-foot like a line that we could tie to him as our boat's going down, worst case scenario, and then we can tie that and use it as like a lanyard to keep Gunner close to us, because we're not gonna be able to carry him and save him, so he's gonna have to, you know, do his own work, but it just gives him a fighting chance as well. So it'd suck if something happened, and things do happen. One of our friends, well, like you see, I always throw footage of humpback whales in our videos. Well, anyways, they were out fishing. Here's the boat. A humpback whale came up right underneath them, put a hole in the boat. Now luckily they were able to get a hold of the Coast Guard. Coast Guard came out and brought pumps to them, so they were able to go back to shore while they were pumping the boat, all the water out of the boat. But I mean, things happen, so it just gives everybody a fighting chance. Man, and I'm in town, and here comes airplanes. I'm already sweating in this thing. I told you this thing's hot. So hopefully this video wasn't too boring. I mean, and it's springtime now, so why I did this at the end of winter, I have no clue, but I just wanted to share this with you guys, because I know a lot of people are talking about moving up here to Southeast, and they'd like to get a little cabin on an island. Well, this is a must buy. All right, and then there's another thing I wanted to point out, and there's a dance off going on, and I'm not entering the dance off, but I've been practicing this one dance move because my brother and sister-in-law and my niece is coming up here in June. And I guess a year ago, my niece showed me this dance move, and I haven't been able to master it yet, but I'm working on it. So I'm gonna let you guys take a look. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this and how well I'm doing. If I should show this off at the clubs, or should I just put it in the back drawer of my dance repertoire. I can't do it in this suit. That's the problem. Anyway, enough about me. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we'll see you next week.